Here we go. Come on, Rom Nom. No infestations yet today. Nope. I'm sure we'll have one though. No, we're still working on converting Rom Nom. They're down to like 50%. Let's check. 46%. We're getting there. We're getting there slowly but surely. So one of our major goals today is to get Rom converted. Bye, Poi Yog. Don't come back. We'll kill you. We gotta get a couple better melee weapons today too, I think. Train doctors on single phages is good, yeah. As long as you don't accidentally destroy their brain somehow, which hopefully you don't destroy their brain if you're doing like heart surgeries or something. You get MECH cluster with an on-map sunblocker. Will raiders or people destroy it? Have darkness precept? They won't like go after it. But what I would suggest is you can destroy the MECH cluster aside from the sunblocker, and then you can double wall it in if you want, or even triple wall it in. But by default, they won't. However, you might end up getting something like a breacher spawning at just the right angle that blasts its way through it. So that would suck. So yeah, I would say if you want to try to preserve the one on the map, just go wall it in after the rest of the MECH cluster's dead, and just to be a little bit safer and buy some time if something weird like that were to happen, you know. But by default, it's not like, you know, traders are going to like spawn and just go destroy it. You'll even notice when you call in allies won't even destroy those buildings. So you can call in help on a raid, like a MECH cluster, and they'll come in and they'll destroy all the turrets and crap like that and the actual mechs, and they'll leave the buildings up. So you don't have to worry about it in that regard, yeah. How long till our next kid grows to a growth stage? Muzz is almost there. Oh, they're so close to the top tier. Muzz is at growth tier 7, very close to 8, but he's about to get to 7 years old, so he might not hit it. Low in food. Man, those growth vats, I always underestimate. Like, we had thousands of mushrooms, and I was like, yeah, we should be good to start the growth vats up again. And I start them, and bam. You're running out of food. Pteropods. Centipede, Blaster, Gunner, Lancer, Militor, Scorcher, Scientist Run. Climate Adjuster. 6 unstable power cells. Sucks the rewards aren't better. I would actually think about taking this. It also depends on what the climate adjuster ends up being. Right now, I'd probably be a -10, which might be not great. Especially since we're not producing clothing yet. Rewards are 6 unstable power cells. Those would probably end up getting destroyed. Since the quest cluster, the mechs would need to be all killed before we could get them, so. Yeah, the power cells probably aren't. So for anyone that doesn't know, quest clusters do not pull to you until their buildings are destroyed. And the odds of us defeating or an enemy defeating all that without destroying the cluster or the power cells is pretty slim. Like maybe 1 or 2 out of that gets saved because it's a quest cluster specifically. Does the game have its own story or not? Depends on what you mean. The game is a story generator, so most of the stories come between the interactions between pawns, their social interactions, what happens to them in your colony. However, there is lore in RimWorld that the game doesn't give you a lot of. It's on some items and things like that, and some very sparse information. There is a document out there that the developers have, like a story Bible, I guess you could call it. A lot of authors call things like that. But there is a lore document you can go read that talks about like what we know about the mechs, how the insects were created, talks about the herb worlds and the glitter worlds, stuff like that. So there is lore. Yeah, there's lore about herb worlds and empire and stuff like that in that document. It's a dry read. It's not like a story. It's, you know, but it's worth reading if you are interested in RimWorld and want to get the most out of it. And it's not super long. My favorite piece of lore from the document is bugs being created, genetically altered by man to fight the mechs. But instead, the bugs are just like, we'll fight humans too. We'll just fight whatever. We don't care. And it really reminds me on our planet when people will like bring in a species and it makes things worse, right? So it's like, oh, we have these bugs, you know, let's bring in these frogs. And then it's like, oh God, the frogs are destroying everything. Let's bring in these cats to take care of the, oh my God, the cats are, you know what I mean? Like it's the cane toads. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah. Yeah. That happens a lot. Same thing happened with bees. I actually have a story about that too. I'll talk about that really quick. So I grew up in Southeast Tennessee, a very rural area, and I don't think they exist. I think they got sold out. But anyway, there was a lumber company there called Bowater. And Bowater had an infestation of Japanese beetles. These Japanese beetles were coming in and just eating the trees. So what they do, they were like, let's get a bee a hornet that eats these beetles. So they brought in these hornets, and we called them Bowater bees. I don't even know what kind of hornet they are or whatever. I don't know, but we just called them Bowater bees. And they brought them in, and guess what? The bees found other ways to eat and stay alive. They didn't really care about the beetles too much, so the beetles didn't get wiped out. And then we had these giant friggin' hornets in that area. So you had to be careful. I remember as a kid, my uncle got stung by one of these Bowater bees on his back, and it swelled up into this huge lump. He had to go to the hospital. So anyway, that literally happened pretty much in my backyard, where there were these Japanese beetles taking out the trees, and they brought in some kind of bee to take care of them. And the bee was like, why don't we just sting people and send them to the hospital instead? Screw those beetles. Yeah, it was nuts. I think Bowater got sold out though. Stigma about bees in your childhood. I can remember the very first time I got stung by a bee. I got stung by bees a lot when I was a kid. The very first time I ever got stung by a bee, I was maybe like 5 years old, barefoot, shirtless, of course, because I was a little hillbilly child. Run around outside in the summer, and I ran forehead first into a bumblebee. Bumblebees don't really sting you, but they can, you know. And I ran head first into a bumblebee while it was flying, and it just, in that second, stung me in the forehead. And my forehead swelled up. Let's play a game called Unintended Consequence. Should have been wearing a helmet. If I was allergic to bees, I'd be dead, because also when I was a teenager, I was push mowing our yard, and I went over the top of a yellow jacket hole. So yellow jacket nest, they nest in the ground, you can't hardly see them, and they flew out, and I got something like 80 something stings. My hands and arms swelled up. I had to go to the doctor, but I wasn't allergic. I'd probably be dead. It was very painful. Pinch hole in the ground once, trying to deal with a hornet nest using some gasoline as a teenager. Yes, yeah, we did that too. That's actually how we took care of that nest. Yep. Rom, it's converting time. Can the storyteller raid 2 bases at the same time? They absolutely can. Each base has their own raid points, their own wealth curve, their own events. Yep. I just want Rom Nom to get converted. All right, I still need to dig way over here sometime. See what's going on over there. Might regret it, but... Nicolay's many friends. A 1-star quest with 2 raids. Sorry, Nicolay. You're no Dwarf. What is this about, guys? Nuclear Rhino offered a backhanded compliment about Claw's ideas. But Claw is the king. Can't argue with the king under the mountain. Alright, Muzz grew up. Oh, look how close he was. What? That's kind of BS. Look at that. 162 out of 162. Excuse me. That means he leveled up. Nonsense. All right. That's a grudging. All right, Muzz. Let's see what you get. You made it, but also not really. Sanguine. Oh, great memory. Wow. We actually don't have anyone that's good at art. We will be doing a lot of art later. So let's go with shooting and art. Sanguine to always keep him happy, or great. I mean, if he's only doing... So great memory really helps a lot after 10 skill. After 10 skills, when great memory really kicks in. We have a guide coming out about that, but I actually think I'm just going to keep him happy, honestly. Sanguine is good. All right, we'll take Sanguine. Oh, I don't know. Great memory is up there, though. But I mean, if he's just always doing this art thing, he's going to stay at 16 to 18 anyway, so screw it. Sanguine's fine. Sanguine Child Muzz. Great memory helps with learning. Great memory makes it so you have slower skill decay, basically. And so great memory doesn't really do anything until you get to 10 skill. And then after 10 skill, the higher your skill level, the more valuable great memory becomes. A Sanguine Dwarf, that's right. Sanguine is good for inspirations as well, yeah, which also will help with the art. Any advices for a raiding colony? Just know that the bases don't grow, DJ. So as long as you get to the point where your raiding party is strong enough to overcome one base, they're probably strong enough to overcome any base. Early on, you can make sure that you're only raiding places that are controlled by tribals. Attacking a tribal base, you know, attacking tribal outposts they put up, because they're going to be just overall easier to take down. You make sure you're taking, you know, sleeping rolls of your people to keep them happy as they're going there. That's going to be your big thing, is when you're traveling, keeping them happy. So take sleeping rolls, you can take drugs to keep them happier as well. Just also know that when you leave pawns at home, that's going to lower the raid points dramatically. So don't be afraid sometimes to send, like, if you have 5 colonists and you want to go raid somewhere, you don't have to be afraid to send 4 and leave 1 back home. So the raids will be so small, like some traps or whatever will probably take care of it, depending on what stage of the game you're in. But if you're at 5, call us, you know. But all right, so I'm gonna start getting this ready. Hate to tear this down, but oh well. A healthy vat baby. Why do these babies keep coming out with just colors as names? Yeah, so unfortunately, I'll show you. They're tribal names, yeah, but it's just funny that all of them happen to be colors, or a lot of them. I want to see if some of these kids get beards as soon as they hit 13. I bet they will. Bet you they will. Don't get used to it, Charmer. Raising a child army? Yes, it's the only way we can get new dwarfs. Hipster beard at 13 these days. Yeah, the babies just pop out on the floor, yeah. Plop. It's a boy! A siege. That's our first siege. That's our first siege. They might destroy the geothermal. I gotta get other power set up. I need to finally get this sorted in here, unfortunately. Yeah, they're aiming at the geothermal, unfortunately. Not the hops! Save the beer! I hear those mortar shells hitting every now and then. Boom, boom. Compact steel, nice. So watermill gens work on this map? No, and it needs moving water. Cassandra's like, you want to come out here? I got 200 mushrooms. No, Cassandra, I'm good, thank you. I know, I love that sound of the Mountain of Missouri mortars as well. Thunk, thunk. Every time I hear that, I just know that we're nice and safe. Maybe if we drop pod in some more barrels and bullets, the next set will get them. Well, at least we're going to be able to go out there and get some mortars after this without having to buy barrels. A healthy, that birth sound, I know. Also don't like the live birth sounds. The mother is making some, I mean, obviously the mother is in pain and pushing and stuff, but it's like, can you stop making those sounds, please? There's a potent sky god from Fathom. All right, Fathom, let's hear what Sky God has to say about this raid.
Commandment 2313. Today is the first day that I can wear pants. Commandment 3971. If you have your wood in your hand and you're not at a +3 happiness, you might have depression. Commandment 2540. Why? You can cut the tension with a lesbian knife.
What? Boom. Yeah, they're shooting fire mortars, yeah. Oh, they can take out the telescope. All right, here they come. They didn't finish this off, which is good. No burn boxes. No, I don't think the doors would burn people alive in a tunnel. Probably. Some of those kids aren't great at shooting yet. My 5-year-olds aren't great at shooting a shotgun yet. What do I mean? Isn't that weird? I will definitely go get the barrels, yep. The barrels and the mortars, we will go get those. But I'm getting this cleaned up first. And we should probably also wait until Cassandra's on cooldown. How does implanting genes work?
Welcome back.
So how does implanting genes work? So you want to get to electricity and then get to xenogenetics. That'll give you the xenobank, assembler, and extractor. You can grab someone and put them in the gene extractor. It will extract one of their genes. It takes 12 hours. That gene can then be put in a gene bank, or it can be sold or in storage. But if you want to use it, you put it in gene bank. Gene banks then connect to the gene assemblers. They need to be within proximity. They connect to it. You can have multiple banks hooked up to the same one. Once you have that, you go to the assembler and you just choose the genes and how you want them assembled and which ones you want together, whatever. Archite genes, the rare ones, are going to have an archite capsule as a reagent. In order to use an archite gene in your in any of your xenos. So, but yeah, you get to this, and then there are once you get to like the archite one, like I mentioned. So that's it basically. What about the implant gene? So you can use the implant gene, just click on it on a single phage, click on it someone else, they'll make that person to a single phage, which does give them all those archite genes. But the vampire will only be able to do that once every 2 years without dying. Where do you get the archite genes? Quests and trades. I gotta be really careful, because Cassandra can spawn a raid right now. I should not have claimed them yet. Yeah, there are fishing mods. I wish they would add maritime stuff to the base game. Fishing, trade by water, stuff like that. How many shells do they leave? 3 explosive shells. No research? No, there's no research I need right now. Next research will be after I get stuff for multi-analyzer. Hey, baby crib, what? I don't need a baby crib. So many kids, yeah. This is RimWorld and a daycare, yeah. Everything seems so confusing and complex. If you have any questions, let us know. Especially, you can join the Discord. We have a RimWorld channel on our Discord. You don't have to be a sub or anything. I have a lot of guides up on YouTube as well, so check the guides, check some of the YouTube playthroughs, especially from the beginning. But if you run into any questions at all, the best place, we have a active Discord with a RimWorld channel in there. You can ask stuff in there 24 hours a day. Of course, you can ask here too, but that goes for everyone. Join it, join it. Join the Discord. This little kid has an insulting spree. Let's have the other kids beat him up. Don't kill him. Whoa, my lord. Even baby dwarves with that extra melee damage are scary. Mech raid, gonna prepare for a while. Okay. Well, let's see how big mech raids are now. Oh, our first, oh god, it's a 3-part. So there is a Centurion. No flame centipedes, right? Okay. No boss mechs in this playthrough yet. The new preparing mech thing is very weird, yeah. 4,000 hours of not having mechs prepare, and now they're preparing. It's so weird to get used to. Major break risk on Pfeiffer. What's wrong, you little turd? I'm entombed underground because I won't convert to dwarfism. I'm being led by a dwarf. Get over it, Pfeiffer. You're in a dwarven underground kingdom. For God's sake. Yeah, I probably should be doing that, yeah. Well, the centipedes at least. Oh, that's a terrible time to... Oh my god, Avig. Upset because the youngsters are sad. All right. Well, they might be dead. This is unreal. Tough, robust. Still wants to be coming. It did screw up that wall because of that, though. Upon his dwarf worthy, tough, robust. Oh, the shield belt's not back up. Shield came out right at the end. All right, we're good. That's another thing, is that because of our genes, our characters are getting hungry faster. So they're going to get hungrier during combat faster. So I got to be careful about that. Oh, they lost their nose. Well, they're carrying meals, so that doesn't matter. It wasn't that they didn't have a meal, but what I'll do is what I usually do, and I'll put a table and chairs down here, and if someone's starving, I'll just have them eat really quick. But how do I deal with termites? Well, this run is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to actually set up a breacher defense soon, and I'll show you. But in a normal run, I usually just outrange them, but in this one we won't be able to do that because we're not using long-range weapons. So I'll show you when we get to it. Corpse obsession. He's going and digging up a dead child. Where are you taking it? Soul Sapper, why so far away? Why so far away? Alright, so Cassandra's on cooldown now, so we should be fine to recover. Could still have a minor event, though. I'm gonna have to have someone else cook food. Very temporarily, unfortunately. How did the baby die? It starved to death. Colonists won't put the baby in a crib. Dropped it on the floor. The floor was the freezer. We found out why that was happening. So that was happening in my first run. Basically, if the room where the baby is in isn't the perfect temperature, they will try to take it somewhere cooler or warmer. And so you need the room to be a very good temperature. Also, just go drop it in the freezer because it's cooler. Get over here and break down. We got a conversion to do. Fly for hiding in your room. Nice. Malaria. God. Oh, one of the vat babies has malaria. We actually haven't seen that. Where can you find components you don't have any more to mine? So you can either buy them by trading, caravanning, or trading. But the most important thing to get to is your ability to make your own, which is fabrication. So you want to try to get to fabrication so you can turn steel into components. That's what the fabrication bench does initially. And then you can also get deep drilling and ground penetrating scanner to mine steel forever. So these three are pretty important. Ground penetrating scanner to find steel on your map. Deep drills to mine that steel that you find. And then fabrication to turn that steel into components. Yeah, well, they're brand new to the game, so I'm not going to overwhelm them with long range scanner into caravan setup or into drop potting and far skipping, and some of that stuff is probably like completely Greek to them. But your best bet early on as a new player is probably to just buy components when you get it offered. 7/10, 7/10. 5A, okay. ABC, always buy components. Always. Far skipping, you have 800 plus hours. Don't know what that is. Far skip is a sidecast added with royalty that allows you to skip, to jump, to teleport a group of your colonists, animals, etc. to anywhere in the entire world map as long as you have a pawn on the other end. So what you can do is you can drop pod a single pawn somewhere. You can even have them caravan to the opposite side of the planet, and you can teleport your entire group there. And if you have another far skip, you can teleport all the way back home without having to caravan or anything. But it is a sidecast from royalty. It is very strong, yeah. It's one of my most sought after sidecasts. Handle high stacking rebuff debuffs. Yeah, I usually put them on triphasic temporarily, yeah. But rebuffs stack a lot. That's why you'll see me like not wanting to take beautiful pawns and stuff. Sometimes I won't take beautiful pawn and people are like, wait, isn't beautiful a good thing? It can cause a lot of social issues because a lot of people come onto them and then you get the rebuffed and had to rebuff 4 solar panels and 4 windmills. So the problem with those ones is they don't always generate power. So if you have those, obviously you're going to want some batteries. But I definitely suggest trying to get to geothermal in your runs, as long as you have a geothermal vent nearby. Geothermals give you a lot of power, and it's constant power that you don't really need batteries for. There are other generators as well, but that one is really nice because it doesn't take any input and it just gives you constant power. Chem fuel generators are very efficient, but of course it requires you to make chem fuel. And I'm gonna go ahead and try that conversion, I think. We'll see what it shows. Oh, it's only 62% now because they're expectations. I can get it up about 11% more by making the room better. All right, we'll do that first, I suppose. I don't want to go in the other direction. That would suck. That would really suck after all this work. Neuroquake, what kind of situation is good for? It's an oh crap button, I need to win right now. So Neuroquake got nerfed a lot, but it's still just as a get out of jail free card. So if you have your base that's been like broken into, you're about to die, all these enemies are around, it's a raid that you can't take care of, wait until they're in the circle of Neuroquake, gather all your people around the Neuroquake person, hit Neuroquake, and it will literally beat the raid for you. It's really crazy. It will berserk everything outside of that circle and make them kill each other, even mechs. So you can have mechs just kill each other down until there's one mech left, and then you can just go take care of the mech. So Neuroquake is a get out of jail almost free card. There are some significant downsides to using it, of course, but more downsides than there used to be, but still extremely good. Beat out the convertee before you start the ritual. Expected results. Can't fight back. The thing is, boom, we have 150% melee damage. I don't want to kill them. They're also delicate, right? So they're going to take extra. So 150% additional damage from our melee, and they also take 115% more damage. So I'm very worried that I'm just going to kill Rom Nom if I try to damage them. So I could have them go like fight an animal, or well, no, I can't. They're incapable of violence. So shoot them with a bow. They're delicate. We could absolutely one-shot them with a bow. Delicate is pretty rough. Awful short bow, worst shooter, gets shot through the heart or brain, dead, yeah. How important is the percent value on an item, such as 64% shotgun? It doesn't matter. Percentage doesn't matter on weapons. They are always the same strength, and it lowers the wealth. So actually a lower percentage weapon overall can be better for the colony because it's less raid points. And by the time they're over this disease, we're going to get hit by Cassandra again. I have to go get that stuff, but people have been really unhappy. I could send Rhino, I suppose, because Cassandra's on cooldown. All right, Rhino, don't get hunted while you're out there. Oh my God, he's getting hunted. For the dwarves. Dwarves. How do you get more signal chips? You have to fight the boss mechs. All right, so I don't have a Mechanitor, but I'll show you how it works. For anyone that doesn't know, how you get all the chips. All right, when you get electricity, or you start with a Mechanitor, you'll start with this. Basic mech tech.
We are building
to get the chips that are used there, you go to the comms console and you summon the Diabolus. You have to kill a Diabolus, right? And then when you get that chip, that'll allow you to get standard mech tech. Standard mech tech allows you to build the mech band antenna. You build the antenna and use that to call in the next boss. That boss will give you the next tier of chip. Once you get that tier of chip, you can research high mech tech. That will unlock the mech band dish. You might have guessed this, but the mech band dish, you interact with it like the comms console, like the satellite, or I mean like the previous tier, and that will summon the next boss. And that boss gives you the next chip. So every time you research one of these, for the first 3 of them, it gives you access to summoning a new boss in your Mechanitor, and those ones give you the new chips. Yeah, and the boss mechs can spawn with raids as well, and you get them from that. But if you want to call them in, that's how you call them in. All right, how is this room quality now? 71%. We can only get 2% more. Got about a 75% of it being effective. Let's do it. Is that a baby in a pod? It is, yep. Here we go. Your first Diabolus was killed by manhunting squirrels. What's the benefit of using a vat? I don't have to have someone taking time to feed the baby or play with the baby during those first 3 years. And it's also way faster. Like it can be up to 20 times faster, and I don't have to worry about dealing with a baby in the meantime. Come on, Rom Nom. What's the best nutritious source? It seems like baby food is pretty good to use right now. I haven't mathed out the exact best, but baby food is definitely way better than raw food. Effective. They're down to 6%. Oh crap, I meant to use that first. I even looked at it. Close. Weaponized crying box. Yeah. Is that guy on the floor okay? Are you talking about the one that was being converted? Yeah, they're fine.